So, this is SAP screen. I'm sure you can see my SAP screen, right?
No, I can't. I can only see you.
No, we cannot. You can only see you.
Okay, now, that's good. At least this is share screen. What can you see now? Okay, I'll just share the entire screen. Entire screen. Hmm? Can you see my screen now? So, can you see SAP now? I'm sure you can see SAP now. Just confirm
Yes,
that,
we can
please.
see.
It's
Okay, good.
loading.
Okay, it's loading. It's loading. It's loading. Okay. So now we'll start the enterprise structure part. I'm sure for the last in the last class we've been able to explain the structure on how financial accounting or things that the components of financial accounting where we talk about the enterprise structure part, we talk about the general ledger accounting, we talk about the account payable account and account receivable, we talk about the asset accounting and we talk about the bank accounting, right? These are the major components of the financial accounting module. So quickly to set up the system, and I've also explained why you need to do your enterprise structure, why you need to do the enterprise structure, because what is entails in the enterprise structure is definition of a company and definition of a company code, while you assign the company code to a company, and then you define your business area, you define your function area, you define your credit control area. You know, these are some of the things that you need to do under your under your enterprise structure. However, there are some certain things that has been relaxed. Now people don't use it any longer. For example, your function area, which I explained, the function area are simply your department, like account department, market department, human resource department, and all, right? Now, why it's been relaxed? It has been used it's relaxed because of CU, the controlling module, because now we have cost center. So you can create cost center for respective departments. You can have a cost center for finance, you can have a cost center for marketing department, you can have a cost center for sales department, you can have a cost center for the MD of the company, you can have a cost center for, so cost center is now used in place of function areas, right? Cost center is used in the replace of function area. So we won't really do anything on the function area, then we'll just do the business area. Yeah, we'll just do the business area. And even the business area per se is just for reporting purposes, which is very essential actually. So you can run reports on business area side too. So I'll just go into the system to quickly uh, set up the enterprise part. And I'm sure I'll be able to tell you what we use with SPRO, right? Another way to quickly go to your enterprise or to the configuration, customizing environment is SIMG. I'm sure you guys have seen me do this many times. SIMG would immediately take me to what? To this customizing environment. Why? If you click on SPRO, which is SPRO, I'll still need to click on the IM SPRI preference IMG before I find myself in this environment. Right. So most time I just like to use SIMG and I'll just come here straight. Now going to enterprise structure. If you have any question, you can always speak, no problem. You just unmute and say something, I'll listen to you clearly. So we'll come to the enterprise structure, I'll click on definition, then click on financial accounting, then click on define company. I told you why we set up a company. It's very important. I've explained that yesterday, why we need to, what they call it, why we need to define a company. Like I said, I will just repeat again. You need to define a company because you cannot build something on nothing, right? You cannot start a business without having a proper legal company created with the country you are operating in, right? If you're in Nigeria and you want to have a smooth business interaction or smooth business transaction with another place or with another company, you would need to have a legal company created, right, by law, that is backed by law, right? So you need to go to CAC, which is Corporate Affairs Commission, to what to register a company. The same to go to SAP. You need to register your company into the system, right? You need to create a company in the system. You need to define it, and that's what we'll just do here. So I'll just click on new entry. I'll click on new entry. Then I'll look for a company alphanumeric keyword to use to denote. I'll use it to denote my company. I'm sure you understand what I mean, using it to denote what a company means. So I'll use IQ01. So then it's ICRA company, ICRA consulting solution. See, solution limited. Okay, I'll leave it as this. So if I can invert it, okay. solution. Okay. Okay. Okay, I'll just leave it as this. Now the streets. I could say opposite what? Like opposite Anya quarters, Zapi quarters, Zapi, Abuja. Abuja. Okay, nothing is there. Then the postal code I'll use 9900. 99001 is Abuja postal code. I'll put FCT as the city. Then the country will be NG and the language will be EN. The currency will be NGN. I'm sure you all know what we do here. Then I'll just click on save. If I click on save, it will trigger me a transport request. I'm sure I've shown you this transport request and what it means. I've explained what this transport request means yesterday in our class. So I'll just quickly go to a new one. Like maybe I should just repeat what transport request simply means that if you want to move your configuration to another client, and I told you we have different three clients based on the architecture of how the development is. We have the development environment, we have the quality environment, and we have the production environment. So this is the number, this is the request number, this numeric number is what which is called transport request, is what you give your business person. The business person will now move it, will now use it to move what? To move, will move your object or your configuration or your customization to what? To your quality environment where you do proper testing. Then it will now be also be moved to what? To production environment. I'll just click on create because I want to create a new one. I'll click on create request. Then I'll say, I can say company setup for ICRA company. ICRA company. Right? I'll just click enter on my keyboard and then it will generate a new number for me. Then I'll click on this check mark and that's I've saved the company. The next thing that needs to be done, right, is to you can see from this part now, financial accounting under enterprise definition, these are the things that you could want to do, right? Depending on what your business requirements are. So define credit control is something I will need to do it as well. So I'll just click on define credit control. This time I'll take it sequentially so that it's not like I'm jumping and coming back to, right? So this define credit control. And what do we use the credit control to do? I've explained it in yesterday or the first day class. Credit control is simply what the control that you set up in the system to what? To give limitation to what your customer can owe you as a company, right? Literally, that's just what credit control does. So I'll click on credit control. And as you can see, this is credit control. So I'll just click on new entry. If I click on new entry, you see these are some of the things that we see. But instead of clicking on new entry, you can always copy one. You can click on one and make copy, right? You can click on anyone and make copy. But yeah, and you can just create a new one for yourself. So I'll just use ICRA 01 as my credit control uh digits. Then the currency will be NGN. Even if I don't put anything here, it will pick the currency automatically, but I just need to put the currency, which is NGN, right? Then I'll remove this public data for updating SD. As you can see, it's saying data for updating SD because SD is what is speaking to the sales department. SD is what sales distribution, right? It's sales distribution. And when you say you're having a credit control, what you're actually trying to do is to use credit control to control your customer, right? You know, I explained that yesterday as well. I'll just remove this update thing. Then the risk category, I won't really do anything much here. The risk category, credit limit, and all those things. I won't do anything much. I'll just click on enter on my keyboard. Then I'll change this name, the description of the credit control. I will say credit control for what? For ICRA. ICRA. So I'll click enter on my keyboard. Then I'll click Control S. I'm using Control S to save it and just save. I'm sure you understand what I've just done here. It's not nothing much here. So the next thing is to come to edit, copy, it deletes company code. Edit, copy, delete company code. That's the next thing I need to do. So I'll just click on this, edit, copy, delete company code. Now I'll come to edit company code data. Instead of going to copy, delete company, I'll just click on this one and I'll find my, then you can see I'm on the screen of company code now. What I just need to do is to click on new entry. I'll click on new entry. And if I click on new entry, then I'll put, what do you call it? ICRA 01. Then the company name, I'll simply say ICRA Consulting Solution. Okay, it's nothing more than that. Then the city, I'll say city. Country, I'll say NG. Currency, I'll say NGN. Then language, I'll say EN. So I'll just click on enter on my keyboard. Then you see a pop-up. If I click on save, you see a pop-up that will come up to say, how do I want my company to do further inclusion of what data to my company? So my company has not changed. Okay. It's ICRA Consulting and Solution Limited. Okay. So I'll put the search term. What do I want to use for the search term of what they call it of the company? I'll just put ICRA. Then the street number. The street now is what? Is opposite what? Opposite and name cuts. Zapping Abuja. The number is 22. Then the postal code, I'll just use 901. The city is FCT. The country is Nigeria. And the region, I'll just put FC, which is Abuja. I'll click enter and I'll just save it. I'll save this. I'm sure you understand. If you have any objection or you want clarity to something, you can always call me back, please. Yeah? So now we are done with the company code. We have created our company code. Uh, do I need to open a new sheet to see what we have done? So we have defined a company. We have defined it, credit control. Let me just things that we have done is what I want to confirm here. And we have just defined a company. We have defined a credit control. We have defined company code. Now let's go to the business area. Like I said, this is optional. I will just click on this. I just click on this. This is really optional. This we are not really doing now because it is management account. So we'll not create a controlling area for management account. We'll just leave it, right? Assignment of company code to what? So, okay, now we'll do this assignment. So let me come back to the business area. So now define business area. I'll click on define business area. So like I said, the business area are just like a region, like where you want your business to be located. So I'll quickly do something in Excel. So let's say Southwest, I'll say Southwest 01. So Southwest 001, Southwest 002, Southwest 03. So what have I done? Look at my nomenclature, how I'm creating this thing. I would say Southwest 01 should be what? Lagos. Southwest 02 should be maybe Ogun State. So it will be easy for someone to pick the what? To pick the business area. I could say North Central, which is North Central 01, which I could say Abuja. I could say North Central 02 is what is maybe um Nasarawa. Nasarawa. Now I could say Northeast. Northeast 01. I could say Northeast 01. I could say Borno, right? Borno, 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 Borno. Yeah. So I could say North West 01. I could say Kaduna. Say this is Christina, which is Northwest 02. So you can see my way of naming these things here. So I'll just go back to my Excel sheet to the SAP, then I'll click on new entry. And you can see as I click on new entry, it just give me it's just simple thing. This is just like an Excel sheet here. This is just like an Excel table rather. It's just like an Excel table. So I'll just copy this thing. Okay, Southwest 3, I'll just say so I'll copy this. I'm assuming this where I have my what my business outlets, right? I'll copy this and I'll just paste it. You can see I just paste it and I'll click on save. And with this, I've created my business area. This thing is very, very simple. Very, very simple, right? Very, very simple. All you just need to know is to understand how SAP has structured their navigation, how they structure the way things are seen on their screen. That's all. So for the file function area, like I said, has been duplicated, but you can still create it. So for just showing you, I will just click on it. It will so you can see these are function area. You can see the function area, right? It's just like the other one too. So I'll just click on new entry and then I'll just go down and say probably maybe like say account department, accounts. Let me just say okay, I'll just say accounts depart. I'll just say DFT. I'll say sales depart DPT. Let's see, okay now. Says DPT. I could say maybe human resource HR. I could say just mention some things, maybe logistics, right? And these are clients creation. Yeah, these are clients creation. So at this point, I can say account, I can say account department. And instead of even using all these full details, right? Instead of using the full details, you can do something. You can use nomenclature as well. You can say accounts. You can say account 01. You can say sales SA 0. And you could also do something like just you can say ICRA 0. You can say 10. You can say ICRA 20 like this. You can do it this way. So you can do it this way and just create some department. You can use this nomenclature depending on how you want it, right? And it's on clients. It's a client definition, not company code specific. It's a client definition, right? So I'll just come to this place and I'll paste it. And I'll click on save. And there, I'll just continue with my saving. So as you can see, these are some of the things that we did. And these are client, like I said, these are client specification, right? So we have defined a company, we have defined credit control area, we have created a company code, we have defined business area, we have defined functional area. Now, maintain consolidation business area, this is we will not do today. What this one means is, I'll just explain what it means. It's what it means is that if you want, like for example, in Southwest now, maybe Lagos is your headquarter in Southwest, region-wise, because you consolidate a business area for a particular business. So you can say for all Southwest, Lagos State should be the headquarter for Southwest region. You can say Kaduna should be the headquarter for Northwest region. So if you come to this place, what you just need to do is to do some sort of mapping. So you use consolidation business area. So you put it and use it to map. So it's nothing much. You can see the screen is also similar. It's simple. The screen is also simple, but we'll not do with. In fact, I think most company don't use this functionality. So that's all for that. So all these other one are for other module, like maintain FM area. That's fund management. This is not for FI. This is not an FI thing. So I'll just leave all this part. Then I'll close it for financial accounting. I'll close it. Then we'll go to assignment. So after under this enterprise structure, the moment you are done with the definition, you come to what? Assignment. Another assignment, you click on financial accounting. You can see the SAP as structured is what they call the way you go about it, right? So financial accounting. So you just click on assign company code to company, which is the first thing we need to do. I'll click on position. You can see sometimes you see position here. What it does is to quickly find what you intend to look for instead of scrolling down. So you can see IQ01 ICRA Consulting and Solution. So I'll just put the company, which is IQ01. I'll click enter. I'll save it. I'm using Ctrl S, or you could also come to this place to save. Then I'll continue, right? So I'll go back. Then I'll click assign company code to credit control area. I'll click on this as well. As you can see, the screens are the same, isn't it? Kudirat, I'm sure, confirm that to me that the screens are almost the same. They are not something very serious. The moment you understand how SAP work or how SAP does the
Yes,
stuff,
sir.
just understand. Can you see that everything is the same? Just
Yes,
assignment,
sir.
just good. Thank you very much. Thank you. I'll use Ctrl S to save it. But we still get to a place where the thing will be a little bit more difficult here. These ones are just straightforward. Yet ones are just straightforward. Now the other one is assign business area to consolidation business area. Remember, we talked about definition of business consolidated business area, right? And that consolidation, when I was saying explaining that you could have Lagos State to be what? To be the headquarter of Southwest region. You could have Kaduna to be the headquarter of Northwest region. And you could have Abuja to be the headquarter of what? North Central region, right? So this is where you will now map, this is where you do your mapping, where you map the business area against the business area consolidation. So you have created a consolidated what they call it HQ, which is headquarter. So you now come to this place to do your mapping. I'll just show you. Let me click inside and show you. So what are you seeing here? You just see when you put these are business areas. These are business areas. So you just list all your business area. Let's say Southwest now. You list all the Southwest business area. Then you put the consolidation business area. When you're putting the consolidation business area, it will be one. It should be just be one business. So you have created just one consolidation business and you just map it on this one. That's just As simple as that. But like I said, companies have not been using this functionality. For no, most companies don't use the functionality, so we just need to do it. But just saying it for saying sake, so that should in case in future, if you find yourself in a business that wants something of that, you can always know about it. So assign a company code to financial management area. Like I said, FM, that's financial management area. It's not our module yet. It's outside our module. So I'll just leave this part. Then then we are done with the enterprise structure side now. You get that we are done with the enterprise structure part. So what we have done is assignment to company code and then assignment to what? Assignment of company code to credit control area. So these are just the assignments and these are the things we've done. We did this and we did this, right? So I'll just delete this part. Now, we'll go straight to the financial accounting global settings. So all of enterprise structure is done. We are done for that. Now we'll start with the financial accounting global setting part. This is a little bit longer. This part is a little bit longer, so but we'll just start it. So now, how do you get to this place? Let me go outside. So again, I'll show you how we got to that place. No, so like I said, we can always use SIMG so that you come to this environment. So that I come to the configuration environment. All I just need to do is to make sure I get my financial accounting because that's what I'm actually setting up. I'll click on financial accounting. Then I'll come to what financial accounting global setting. That's the first thing under your financial accounting, right? I'll click on financial accounting global setting. So what are the things? I'll just take them in sequence, like the way it is on the way SAP has structured them. So ledger, I've clicked on ledger, right? And the first thing I see is field. I see field, I see ledger, I see fiscal year and posting period. So I'll click on field. So under this field, you see standard field, you see customer field. Let me click on standard field and see some of the things inside. But if you click on standard field, you see that there's nothing much that we need to do here. There's nothing much that we need to do here. This is not, it's not really what we need to do, right? I'll just close it and click on customer field. And under customer field again, based on what I'm seeing here, there's nothing much again here that we need to do. I'll just close it. I'll close this customer field. Now, the one that concerns us, right, is define field status variant under field. If you click on field, the thing that concerns us is your define of field status variant. Copy this one or drop it here, field status variant. So I'll click inside. What does field status variant means? I'll explain it in brief. I think I've explained it yesterday, but I'll just explain again. The field status variant is a variant that's assigned to what? To respective to field status group. Remember, we created one yesterday, but I'm just repeating it myself so that at least we can get a feel of what is it. So field status variance is just a key alphanumeric keyword. Look at it. That's all. This field status variance. But a field status variant is the anchor, right, to the field status group. It's the anchor to the field status group, and that's why I'll just click on this and I'll copy. So on the field status group, it's not as if you cannot create one fresh by yourself, but it will be very difficult to begin to maintain all the respective what they call it control. And I'll show you when I mean respective control. So let me just quickly do this one, IQ01, and then I'll say field status variant for ICRA. I'll just come here and say ICRA 01. I'll click enter. And I'll click on copy all. So what this system is, because I'm copying from an existing field status variant, it's also copying with the respective account group, with the respective field status group as well. It's also copying with what? With the respective field status group. But instead of saying, if I say copy all, instead of clicking on copy all, I could click on only copy entry. If I click on only copy entry, the field status group will not follow it. It will not follow it. It will just be this name alone that I've created, which is not what I wanted, right? So you need to click on copy all. That's what you need to do. Click on copy all. So when you click on copy all the field status group in that item you are copying from will follow suit. It will follow suit into your what? To your new field status variant, right? To your new field status variant. So I'll continue by clicking enter on my keyboard, and then I'll click on this. I'll come to field status group, and you can see all of the field status group are here. All your fee status group are here. So I do not need these two. I'll just delete it. I've deleted it. I'll leave these other ones and I'll just save it. Even this one, I do not read it, but I'll just leave it. So I'll just save it. I'll click on save. And you see it will trigger a fee a what do you call it? A transport request, then I'll save it. So I've saved it. Then that's for fee status. And I explained what fee status, what we do with the fee status group. What we do with the fee status group is that we use this fee status group to control the field in the field on our the field at the point when we
Excuse
are
me, sir.
running. Yeah,
Please, can you accept the request I just sent? I was using my phone initially. I want to use my laptop now.
yes, I've done that. I've done that. So,
Taking my
like I
request.
said, I was explaining what the field status group means. And I said the field status group, what it does is that it controls from the word field status group. What field status does is that it controls the field. When we are so I'll just show you an example what we meant by that. Let me just open another screen. Then I'll click on I'm not sure every 50 will give me that one. So I'll just do F-02, right? So you see all these things are filled in SAP. All these things that you're seeing here, they are filled in SAP. All these things are filled in SAP. So the field status group does what? It controls all these field. It controls all these field. So if I'm using a field status group on a particular GL, I can say I want to suppress this field, this document header text. I could say I want to suppress. So that's what it's doing. I will show you an example when we get to
It's
where
blank. Oh,
you said
it's blank.
my screen is blank.
Okay, it's showing now.
Okay, fine. So, like I was saying, I said this field,
Oh, we can
all
see your
this,
screen.
okay, I said all these field are what? All these, what do you call it? All these, what is called are field in SAP. All these things are field in SAP. All these things are field in SAP. And I said the field status group is used to control this field upon selecting a GL. Because when you map your field status, is on your GL. I can't show you that now because even if I go to, let me show you /NFS00. That's where we create GL. Now, I know we have created a GL for JY, the one we are creating yesterday. So these are field status group. Let me just come to this place now. This is field status group. You can see field status group is mapped to this GL. So whenever I'm using this GL, the field status group I've assigned to it, the system will go inside and say what kind of field status group, what type of group, what do you call it, the, control have you set on this particular GL. You can see here we are saying optional entry, assignment number is optional entry, text is optional entry. If I make text required entry, and I'm doing a transaction on that particular GL, if you do not put a text, it will not go through. So you must put a test. You must put a test, and that's what this thing does. I'll just go back now. I'll just go back. And that's what this thing does. And how do you control it? How do you make some? So you can click on any one of these here. You come to this environment and you click on, let's say this one now. Then you click on this general data. Then you can begin to move. So if I say this should be required, it will be required. You see this group 0G101, I'll put it as required, I'll save it. And you can move it again to say it is optional. You understand? This is how to just do it. But I'll click required entry here, then I'll save it. And you'll see the implication when we are at the point of posting, maybe after configuring the system. So this is how to do that. You can click on anyone and look at the general data and begin to, So, but note that the field status group is used to what? Is used to control the field in the system. So I'm sure we are done with the field status, and then we'll come to assignment of company code to field status variant. So we'll go to Excel to do assignment of what? So we'll click inside, and then we click on position, and then we'll put our company code. Then we'll put our field status, which is IQ01 as well. Then I'll click Control S on my keyboard, or you click on save, and then you save. That's all for this. Then that's on field status. I'm sure we are on the field status. So if I close the field, I'll open the ledger now. So what are the things we do on ledger? This one is very, 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 very important. Ledger is very, 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 very important. Now, but because there are some things we have not done, there are some setups that it requires to do before we come to this place. But I'll just go inside because I want to follow it in sequential order. Now, define settings for ledger and currency type. Now, what this thing means is that We have a currency type, meaning that most company will not use one currency. Most company will use about three, minimum of three currency. They will have a local currency, which the local currency could be in USD, and they could have a currency in Naira. They could have another currency in pound sterling. They could have another currency, maybe Dubai currency. So you can create a currency in the system. So SAP already have default currency types in the system. SAP already have different currency. SAP has Naira, it has pound sterling, it has dollar, right? Because SAP has emphasized that you need all these currency. So SAP has created all this currency already. But there are some setup that you need to do. Let me go inside so that you see it. This screen is very, very important. It's a very delicate screen, actually. So you can see it's telling me nonsense here now. Multiple company code were assigned to the leading narrative. For example, I'll just go click on confirm. Let me see what is happening here. Okay, so now these are currency type. I'll click currency type and I'll come inside. So you can see currency valuation type, which is 0010. So 00 is always document currency. And 10 is what? Company code currency. Whenever you see this acronym like that, you know what it means. You see 20, you see 30, you see 40. So like this, these are defaults. Upon opening the box, upon opening on SAP box, all these things are what are defaults. You can see 00 is document currency, 10 is company code currency, 20 is control area currency. Like this is default by default. Now, if you have okay, I'll just explain some things here, but you may not really get it on this short. On a go, you may not really understand it. It's over time that you get to understand the explanation I'll give here. So, global currency. You see, they say global currency conversion. If I click on it, you see this item here, 1070, right? 1070 are global, what do you call it? Global currency. And where do you see global currency? So there are places where you map your currencies. One is under your company code. So the company code currency is what? It is called local currency. The company code currency is what? It is local currency. I repeat, the local currency, it is called the company code currency. The company code currency is the local currency. I'm sure you get that. Now, the global currency, I'll open on that screen and show you some few ones. So there is another currency under your country. I'll put NG, which is my country, Nigeria. I'll click inside and I'll show you. You can see this place now. Reporting currency is in NGN. And you see this index-based currency, and you see what? Add currency. So if I choose on this place now, if I put add currency to be USD, do you understand? If I put add currency to be USD, remember, I said, remember under my currency type, I said what? 40 is what? Is add currency. So if I set up this to be USD, so my add currency will now be what? Will be USD. So my what do you call it? 40, I will be using currency 40 as my add currency, right? And that's one. Note that. This one is index-based currency, which index-based currency is, I think, is 50. You can see 50 index-based currency. So I'm showing you where the currency links are. This is basic anyway. I'm not supposed to be showing you all this. This basic configuration so that you will not get tired of this SAP. I'm not supposed to be showing you, but it's something you also need to know. Because I'm sure how come I will just teach you things and I will overlook at some things and tomorrow you begin to see it. This guy not tell me this and this guy not tell us that one. And that's why I'm showing you these things. So I've shown you 00 is document currency, which is the currency on the document, right? I've shown you company code currency. Like I said, company code currency is the local currency. Now, controlling area currency, it is when you are doing controlling. Controlling is a management account. When you are setting up controlling, the currency you put there will be controlling currency. Now, group currency, I've not talked about group currency, but I've talked about add currency. I've talked about index-based currency. Group currency and global currency is what I'm yet to talk about. So group currency and global company currency. Those ones I'll talk about it. So now let me go to another uh, T code, which is SC4. Oh my God, I don't have direction to SC4. Okay, so you can see we don't have a tradition to SCC4. So SCC4, I don't know why I don't have that to tradition. So I know why. The reason is that SCC4 is where. Hmm, okay. So SCC4 is the what is the is the what do you call it? Is the global company currency. SEC4. What happened in SEC4 is that the when you the how do I put it? I say global company currency, right? SEC4 is where you see the global currency, global company currency. So when you are buying SAP, when you are setting up, when you are buying licenses to use SAP, it will come like the country, it will come with a currency. So you decide what currency should be there. You could say it is pound sterling, you could say it is what have you. This particular global currency now, I can tell you for free that is uh, INR. INR is Indian rupee. INR is Indian rupee because this system we are using now is an Indian system. We got this system from India. So they don't want us to have access to it because if they know that if we have access to it, we can go and change it. And so that's why they remove us to have access. Now, for the group currency can be found under your company. A group currency can be found under your company. So the group currency is inside your company. When you are defining your company, I'm sure when we define company as no, let me use this one as OX15. Okay, OX15. That's where we define our company. If I click on any company per se, but I'll just use IQ01. So IQ01 as Naira. I could change this one to pound sterling because again, let me explain something again. Let's get this part clear. You see, the company is the group company. Is like a group company. This company is like a group company. You guys may not really understand this thing, but let me explain. Just to explain, if you don't get it now, you get it tomorrow in future. But let me explain. You see, you have company code. You can only assign a company code to a company. You can't assign company to company code. I begin to like, what is company? What is company code? Right? Now let me explain. Dangote Group, Dangote Group Company, Dangote Group Company. Dangote Group Company is a company, right? Global is the group company, right? Is the group company. That's why this thing is telling you group currency is the group company. Now, other companies like Dangote Sugar, Dangote Flour Mill, Dangote Cement, all these ones are, are sub company, or let me call it, they are sub company under what? Under the group, right? They are sub company under the group. So you have this sub company attached to what? Attached to the group company. So at the end of the day, they consolidate their reports at the group level. They consolidate their reports at what? At group level. So all of them will have their respective financial statements. All the respective company, Dangote Flour, Dangote Sugar, they will have their respective financial statements. But when you want to do consolidation at group level, you consolidate it at what? Dangote Group. So, and then Dangote can now evaluate his words as a person or what have you, right? So, this company is a group creation. This is a group creation. So, what we can do normally when you create one group company, you can create different company code with different company name and assign it. You assign it to the what? To the group company. You assign it to the group company, and that's what it is. But most people don't know this one. Most time they will just create a company. The moment they will just create this company and assign it to company code, they create the company and you ask. So people should be curious to say, okay, if we assign a company code to company, so at what point do we use company at all? The only time we use company is when we assign it, right? But we will never see a place when we use the company. It's at group level. It's at group level. So this company we are creating it at with the understanding that we are creating at group level and creating company code and assigning it to the company. But there's no way you create you assign a company to company code. You are rather assign company code to a company. I'm sure I've been able to explain it. So on this currency part now, I could say at group level, I don't want Naira, I want USD or pounds. I could put it there. At company code level, which I say company code level is the local currency, I could say, okay, that one should be Naira or that one should be another currency. And that's what the explanation around all these group company documents, company code, controlling your group. That's the explanation around all these things. Now, I'll come to global currency. Like I said, the global currency conversion setting, the global currency conversion setting. If you come to currency convert, you see, we have 60 as our global company currency and we have 30 as our group currency. But now, if you come to global currency conversion, this one is saying that this is automatic anyway. What this thing is saying is that You could also create new entry if you want to, but what this thing is saying is that the 10, which is document currency, and the 70, which is control area currency, global currency conversion is that you can do some sort of, you want some certain conversion, and this is where you make the settings. This is where you make the settings. But if you want to make the settings based on currency, based on company code, when you come to this place to do currency conversion setting for company code. So you want to do conversion setting at company code level. So you come to this place and you begin to do your mapping. As you can see from what some persons has done, you see they put their company code, they put the currency, the first currency, they put the second currency, they put the first currency, which is the currency type is this, right? The currency is this, the currency type is this. Then they will tell the system the translation they want. They will say they want M as the standard translation. You understand? And this is what they do here. You need to assign the moment you are doing some sort of conversion, you are you have what is it called a conversion that you are doing, saying from document currency to what local currency, from local currency to what to foreign currency. All those things you need to set them up here. But because all our currency we are using NGN, so there's no need to do any sort of currency conversion yet. So the next one is ledger. And ledger is where all your financials, ledger is where all your financial statements are drawn from and gotten from. A ledger, what a ledger means is where your financial records are drawn from. So that's what ledger means. So you click on this ledger. It's by default in the system. Already we have leading ledger. All SAP system has leading ledger. All SAP system they have leading ledger. I don't like this prompts, guys. Sorry, I'm seeing some prompts. I don't like it. I don't know whether I should just. Anyways, so by system, by default, all system comes with a leading ledger. Now, the other ones that you can create are extension ledger. You can create some other extension ledger for reporting sake, for reporting purposes. And that's why you can see some other persons have created some other extension ledger. But every system, every setup, every company code will have a leading ledger. By default, you need to have a leading ledger, and the leading ledger is always 0L, which is this one. So the moment I click on it, I'll come to company code setting for ledger. I'll come to this place to company code settings for ledger. I'll click on this just to pick it off for my. So I could click on position to look for my company code. Ordinarily, my company code should be here. The moment I define, like I'm using IQ01. So as you can see, my company code is already here. My company code is already by default, it will see my company code. So what are the things that I need to do here? My fiscal year variance, which I have not done, which I've not assigned to the company code, is here that I will put it. So it will come here automatic. Posting period variance should also come here automatic, but it's not if it is not there, you can always maintain it. I'll come back to this screen. I'm just showing you the screen based on the order of the setup. So if the other currency you can still put it. Now there's something called accounting principle. So accounting principle is simply the principle we follow in actualizing our financial obligations and our financial transactions. In Nigeria, we are using IFRS. So an IFRS means International Financial Reporting Standard. And in some other country, they have local GAAP. GAAP is generally acceptable accounting principle. So these are some of the accountable. So the moment you click on your ICRA, you come to this place. If you have an accounting principle already we have some principle that have been defined in the system already, like IFRS, GAAP, all of these things have been defined. So we don't really need to create a new accounting principle again. What we just need to do is to extend it to our company group. We'll come back to this place to come and do this. And I can just do it. I can just do it at this point since we are here. I'll just say IFRS. I'll click enter on my keyboard. So if IFRS is not here, you can see IFRS is here already. So I can click save on my keyboard and I'm fine. You see, I did nothing much here. Didn't really do anything here because I don't have multiple currency. I only have one currency. So as such, the correction will be smoother and straightforward. So I'll just click enter. The other one, like I said, the what they call it, the fee status variant and the fee status variant and the what and the fiscal year variant, they will come automatic. They will come automatic, but should in case it's not there, you can always, which is this place. If it's not there, you can always what come to manually input it. I can input it here, but because I've not done, but I want it to come automatic, I can input it, but I will not just do that. Then I'll leave it. I'll just click cancel because that's not what I want to do now. So I'll go back. I'll go back. So the only thing I did here is to assign the accounting principle, right? So I'll just click on yes. And so now I'll leave all these parts, deactivate a ledger for a company code. Should in case you have copied. So sometimes if you copy an existing company code that already have some certain ledger, extension ledger, it will give you, it will complicate issue for you when you get to asset accounting, it will complicate issue for you. So that's why it's always good to start your own configuration by yourself because you don't know what the other person has done, and so it will complicate issues for you. Now, but if you now discover that the ledger has been erroneously copied to a company code or to your company code, you come to this place to come deactivate the what they call it, the ledger. So all these ones I will not do anything here. I'll just close this ledger part. Now come to fiscal year and posting period. This one is very important. And maintain fiscal year variance, that we have already done. Maintain fiscal year variance we have. So like I said, we have not done it actually, but already by default, SAP already have some fiscal year variance maintained in the system. And people, you could also create one for yourself, but it's not really necessary. K4 is what we use in Nigeria, which is a calendar year of what? 12. You can see 12 posting period, which is January to December, and we have special period of 4. And it's adopting the calendar year. So that's just what this thing means. But I will not do anything here. I'll just leave it. I'll use K4 as what do you call it? So now the next thing I'll need to come to do is assign company code to fiscal year variance. Assign company code to fiscal year variance. Okay, sorry, I need to do something with line settings. Okay. So assign then I'll just quickly do the assignments. Again, assignment is always very simple. So I just need to click on this and look for my company, which is this. Then I'll just put K4. You can see K4 is already ESF. So I think when I assign it at the other side, which is, let me see, it automatically flows to this place. And that's what happens. Let me come to this place and confirm what I'm talking about. Define settings for ledger. Yeah. So let me quickly go to 0L company code setting. Because I know I put K4 somewhere. Uh, okay. Oof. Let me search for. Okay, you can see the moment I assign that K4, it automatically goes to register it at what are the assignments of the company code. Right? Did you notice what happens there? You remember I put K4 here, and the moment I did that, and when I was going out of the place, the system prompt me to either save or cancel. I click on save, and that's why the system came to register that under this maintain assignment of company code to fiscal year variant, right? So if I go again, I'll just check, just to check. You can see it is there already. So I go out. If it's not there, normally, like I said, this place and that screen are almost speaking to each other. If you assign it here, it automatically appear in the other one. Now, the next one is what? The next one is posting period. So we need to define variant for posting period. So I'll define one. So I'll just click on new entry. Then I'll use what's the convention of what I'll be doing, which is now there's a variance. Let me just do posting variance, posting period variance, posting period variance for crap. I'll click enter on my keyboard. I'll control S on my keyboard to save. So I'll just continue. I'll continue to save. So I'm fine. So again, I need to also show you that we have not assigned under this place now. Define settings for what have you. I did not assign the posting period variance, but the moment I assign it, it will come automatically. That I've also confirmed to you. I just want to show you again so that you will be sure of what I said. But should in case the system did not see that, we need to come map it automatically. Can you see posting period variance? Nothing is mapped here, but I'm sure it will come to fill itself. But if it doesn't, you can always come to do it manually. So assign variant to company code. So we have defined a variant. We need to assign it now. So I'll just click on this and click on EQ01. Then I'll sign the what do you call it, the variant. I'll click Ctrl S to save it, and I'll just save it. Right? I'm sure you're now understanding how the screens are. So because confirmed to you that the screen, just understand how SAP has structured their screen, and every other thing will be fine by you. So I'll just come back to this place to see it has automatically picked itself. But before then, let me look for my company code, which is IQ01. So as you can see, I'm sure this has confirmed your curiosity. The posting variant has come to map itself automatically. I'm sure you've gotten that. So I'll just go back and just showing you so that you get to confirm what I've just said. Now, so we have done assignment of company code. Now the posting period now. Define variant for posting. We have done that. We have also assigned the variant to company code. Now let's go ahead to open and close posting period. I'll just click inside. So now, like you can put your posting period directly here, IQ01, and it will bring you to this place, and you can begin to do new entry, right, and begin to maintain the parameter. But if you don't want to go through that stress of maintaining parameter, all you can do is to go out, click cancel, then I'll just click on open posting period again. Instead of putting a specific one, I'll say maintain all. If I click on maintain all, it will give me all this stuff here. So, and I know I've maintained one before. I'll just say posting period variant. I'll say I use JY01, which I've done before. So I'll just come there. I'll use it because I think I've maintained all the setup. I'll just copy this. I'll copy as, and then I could come to my Excel sheet to just say IQ01. That's my, what they call it, my posting period. I'll just copy, but I don't want to be doing that one by one. So I'll copy paste here. Then I'll just come here. I'll copy paste, and that's why it has changed. Right? I'll click enter on my keyboard already. Okay, this is 2024. Okay, I'm saying from 2024, from 1st of January 2024 to what December of 2025. That's what this stuff means. I'll click enter on my keyboard. Then I'll just click on save here. I'll click on save, or you control S on your keyboard. You can see for everything I'm doing is prompting me a customized or transport request. So I'll go back. I'll go back. So this I think we have done. Assign complete code to fiscal year variant. Okay, I think I'll jump one step, which is define variants. This we have done. The next one is assignment, which we need to also note in our Excel sheet. This we have also done, right? Okay. Open and close posting period. This we have done. Now, we have also done open and close posting, so we are fine on this part now. We are fine. So the major things that we need to do are things we have done. Just for showing you sake, just for showing sake, where accounting principle are created is under this parallel accounting. Then you see define accounting principle. So inside, if you go inside, we're not defining any one new one per se because there are some that have been defined in the system. But should in case you want to define a new one for yourself, you can always go back and create one. But it's not really necessary. Just use the accounting principle that have been defined in the system already. So I think this should be fine. I won't define anything. I can just look for IFRS that is in the system. You can see IFRS in the system already. So I'll do nothing. So I'll just go back. I'm just trying to show you just for showing sake, right? And also you need to also assign the accounting principle to a ledger. So as you can see, there's a place where you assign the leading ledger, which is 0L, accounting principle is IFRS, and you see that IFRS has been assigned to the leading ledger already in the system. That is, if you are creating new one, all these things is very important. So I'll do nothing here. I'll just leave it. That's a target group ledger. So I'll leave it. So somebody sent me a message. Let me check. Okay, sir, please, what is the essence of posting period? Okay. Kudrat is asking a question. What's the essence of posting period? Posting period is very, very important because it is used to control the period which users can post into the system. Posting period. It is used to control the period that user posts into the system. Now, you expect that users will do transaction, right? Will post transaction as per the document. Now, if we and company submit a document, an invoice document, right? If they submit an invoice document to a company for payment. Now they've rendered, if we as render a service for a company, and the company, and after their service, they have now issued a what they call it, an invoice to the company for payment. There will be a date on the invoice, right? The date will be your document date, right? Now, when you post that entry into the system, you just post pa, 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 pa. But there's a control that the business would want you to post or invoice. They want to know that they want you to post invoice as such when due, right? So if an invoice document was submitted in December, and you as a user fail to register it into the system, and you now want to register it in January, the business has it as a control to close that posting period or that period, so that you would do your job as at when you are supposed to do. Apart from that, there's something called accrual accounting. Accrual accounting, what it implies is that you need to register transaction as at when due. As at when expense or transaction are incurred, or services are rendered, you need to register it, you need to book it, you need to record it. So it is control for recording. So they want you to record transaction as at when it is due. That's why posting period, what they use posting period. So now you can say on our posting period, I'm sure. Let me quickly show you again. You could see I say I'm opening from 2024 January to what? December 2025. I could, if I want to post to January 2023 or 2022, I won't be able to post to it, because why? I did not open those years. You understand? I'm sure you should understand that part. So that's all for this part.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much for that. So now the other one is, okay, I'll just close this. The other one is documents now. Documents. So under your notice under our financial, so I'll just close some of these things so that under our financial global settings, we have dealt with ledger, and we have done all the treatment that we need to do under ledger, right? And on the field, we have also done some things under the field. Fiscal year posting period, we have done something there, and the rest we just close this part. The next thing that we need to do is under our documents. Under financial accounting global setting, that you come here, you come to document. So if you come to document, that's where you see your document type. So I'll just open the document type. Like I said, document type, uh, let me open one of the document type. Let me open it. So what document type does is that there are types. They show you the type of transactions that you need to perform in the system. So AA is asset accounting. So whenever you see AA, what it means is asset accounting. When you see AB, it's accounting document. When you see SA is journal to journal. KR is vendor invoicing, right? What do you call it? DZ is customer payment. KZ is vendor payment. All these are, it's used to denote the type of transaction that you are carrying out. That's what this document type does. And then now under the document type, I've also showed you yesterday that the number ranges are embedded in the document type. I'll just click open one. I'll just open SA. So as you can see, SA, if you click it, you see the number ranges side. You can see number ranges inside the document type. Inside it, the number range is what is inside your document type, right? Now, we have a number range, no problem. But the next thing we need to do is to what? Is to document number, the document number range, we need to confirm, we need to maintain the document number range. So define document number range, that's what we need to do now. I'll click enter on my keyboard, then I'll put my company code, which is IQ01. Then I'll click on interval, this one, change interval. Then let me put one, which is 01. Then I'll put the year, which is 2020. Let me say 2025. Let me use 2025. Then I'll just say 100. I'll put this 199. I'll just do this. I'll click enter on my keyboard. And I've explained why external and internal assignment is very important. So if you say internal, if I click on this check mark now, it means that whenever I want to post a journal to journal document entry, the system will require me to what? Will request of me to put an external numbering, which must also fall within this range. It must also fall within this range. But I will not click on this check mark because I want the system to automatically to internally rather trick what do you call it, to internally create a document number for every transaction I perform on a journal to journal transaction. That's what this thing is. So 01, which is 01 is what is assigned or is maintained under the document type SA, which is GL to GL. So SA is a GL to GL document type. And the year, I'm saying 2025, meaning that in 2025, this is the number ranges that I want to be using or I want to be doing. So I'll click on save. If you have any question, you can always speak. You can speak. Just unmute yourself and speak. I will listen to you and would talk about it. So you just click on the check mark, the green check mark, and I think you should be fine. If you click on the green check mark, you'll be fine. So I'll just go back. I'll go back. There are other number ranges that you need to create in the system. There are other number ranges you need to do. Document I sent, if you go to the document number range and the number, you see all the number ranges that you need to create in the system. So now I think I'm fine with this part. So there's something called copy to company code, right? So you can actually copy some number range from comp to a company code, but that's not what we want to do today. So you could say you want to copy number range of so in so fiscal year to what to a company code of what so target. So you can copy number range from one, but we will not do that. So we'll leave all these other parts. Now define posting key. This posting key, we will not do anything on posting key. I'll just show you. I'll just show you. I'll just show you document type. I'll just let me just maintain our different document. Okay. Okay, so now posting key. What are posting key? Posting key are two 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 character that is used to reflect or to denote how a transaction can be posted. Meaning, should it be a debit or should it be a credit? Now, it is well to know that 40 is a debit posting key. 40, which is 40, is a debit posting key. 40 is a debit posting key. Now, there are two things, like I said, that can be used to what to um to maintain or control the field in the system. The posting key is one of them, and the fee status group is also one of them. The fee status group is one of them. You can see 40 is a debit entry for GL to GL account, and 50 is a credit entry for what? For GL to GL. Now, these are things that you can do under vendor. 31 is for invoicing, which is 31 is credit, and 20, I think it's 29 or 21. Okay, 21 is credit memo, 29 is what is a debit. So this is how to note some of these posting key. Posting key is very important, but you get to know them better. But like I just said, if you are trying to do a transaction, let me open one of it. Then I'll show you, um, let me show you slash nf-02. So here is a posting key. You can see posting key 40. Because the document type is SA, so it's seeing the system. You can change the document type here anyway. This is a fast screen. This is a fast screen where you can post different type of documents. So, but because it's SA, it's already confirming that SA is a GL, it's already confirming that 40 is a debit. That's what this posting key is. You can see system SAP has already make a default posting key, so you don't really need to create one. But should in case that your business transaction require a different posting key, you can always use it. So I'll click on this 40, and then you see the maintain fee status. So like I said, you can use posting key and document type to do what? To maintain fee status. So I'll click on fee status, and then you see what I'm talking about. Can you see? You can also suppress, you can require, and all that and all that. So I'll just leave all these things and just show you so that you know. So you know. So now nothing else that we need to do on that document. I think nothing else that we need to do on that document. Now there's something called tolerance. Yes, this we need to talk about. Tolerance group. I will expand this tolerance group. Tolerance group is very important. So we have different type of tolerance group. You can do tolerance group on employee, meaning that what an employee can post, what users can post in the system. That's tolerance group for employee. Now you also assign tolerance group to individual employee. What do we mean? I have Mohammed, I have Kudirat as my staff, and they are working in what? In account department. Kudirat is what? Is an account officer, while what do you call it? Mohammed is a payable officer. Now you can see their nomenclature is a little bit different. So I could say Kudirat should not be able to post a transaction, an entry that is more than 1 million. And I could say Mohammed should be able to post an entry that is above 500,000. So that is the tolerance we are talking about. So we are saying define tolerance group for employee. So you define a group that you can be assigning to all users, and then you come to this place and do what? Assignment. So SAP sees this maintenance, or this what do you call it, the maintenance to be important. So what we do most of the time is not to restrict any employee. We don't do restriction to any employee. What we just do is to define a tolerance group, but without, we just do that. Let me enter our Excel sheet again. So I'll click enter inside, I'll click inside. Now what we do is to just to click this place and copy. I'll just copy. Then I'll put nothing here because this is the group. This is the group that you need to create and assign to respective user. But I'll show you. But we'll not do anything here because we don't want to restrict any employee. So we'll just leave it blank. So I'll put the company code. My company code is IQ01. I'll put that. If I click on enter on my keyboard, you see it will change. Let me go inside back. It will change the currency to what? To NGN, because the currency on the company code is NGN. Now I'm saying amount per document should be this, amount per open item account should be this, and the cash discount. So these are tolerance parameters that I've set up for revenue type, for expense. These are parameter. I will not, it will do nothing for us except your business, or the business requires you to do all these things. But most time business does not want to restrict. Business are very busy than to say, okay, this employee cannot post this, So this is what we do. There are other ways of controlling what employee can post, what employee can approve, what employee can, doing workflow. So, but SAP wants us to maintain this thing in the system and save it. Can you all hear me? Someone should confirm that you can hear me. Please, someone should confirm that you can hear me so that I can continue.
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
Thank you very, very much, sir. Thank you, sir. I recognize you, sir. Mm. So I'm sure you can, let me share my screen again so that you would be fine. Okay, so I'll just click on enter. I'll just continue by clicking enter. I just saved the tolerance group, our tolerance group for employee. Then I'll click enter on my. So the network, I'm sure you can see my screen, right? The network has actually yanked me off. I'll enter again. Network start button. Yes. Can you see my SAP screen? Can you see my SAP
It's
screen?
loading.
Okay, fine. So I'll just quickly go to financial accounting, global setting. I'll go back to where we are coming from, which is under documents, if I'm correct. So under documents, like I said, we'll talk about tolerance group. Click on tolerance group. So we have defined a tolerance group for, let me confirm what we have defined actually. See whether it's there. So you can see it's not there. So what we do now is to create a new tolerance group. Is that bad? Okay, so I'll just copy this again and create and copy it. I'll copy it and I'll put Ikra, no, I'll put nothing here. I'll put Ikra 01. Then I'll do nothing. I'll just click enter. I'll click enter on my keyboard. And I'll do nothing. Okay. Enter, please. Okay. Okay, so I'll just cancel this. I'll cancel this. I think our key is the change. I'll just cancel it. I'll go inside again. Then I want to find the composition. I'll say please no. No. The error. The reason why I'm not saying it is because I'm putting it on tolerance group instead of a company code. I said I will not create a tolerance group because I don't want to restrict any employee or any user. But I'll just put my company code. My company code already exists. I've actually done that before now, before the system or before the network got bad. So I'll search for my tolerance group, which is using IQ01. So it is here already. I'll just go inside to see what I maintained. You can see these are parameters that I said I maintained before now. So I'll just click on save and it has saved. So I'll go back. I'll go back. And now, I said something like if you create a tolerance group, you need to assign it to users. I'll just show you the ones that have been done in the system. You can see some users have been created and probably maybe a tolerance group would have been assigned to them. But I will not do that because we don't do that in this recent time. We don't really restrict users. So I'll just leave this part. I'll just leave this part. But this definition is very important because if you don't do it, SAP will continue to trigger an error that you need to define it. So we have just done we've just defined tolerance group for employee. So we have done that. So now after this, then I'll close this tolerance group. Under tolerance, there is nothing much again to do here. There's nothing much to do here again in future. So now there's something called document packing. Now document packing, change posting date for packing, develop for all these ones. I should not let me not complicate things for you. So I'll close this document. Then the next thing that we need to do is tax on sales and purchases. You can see on the document, the next thing is tax on sales and purchases. This is what we need to do next. So I'll open this, then I'll click on basic setting. Under this basic setting, things that we need to do is check calculation procedure. We need to do what? To check calculation procedure. We need to do what? Check calculation procedure. So let's go inside and see what has been done. I know we have created the calculation procedure has been created for Nigeria, but we just need to look at it again. So you click on define procedure. We click on define procedure and we'll just look for position. So look for a procedure. So now I've explained what this procedure means yesterday, but I'll explain again. So the tax procedure is what it means is that how your tax governance will be treated. How your tax governance will be treated, the procedure on how you want your tax to be done in Nigeria. That's what the setup you are doing here. So you can see tax Nigeria. I'll just change this to the word tax for Nigeria. For Nigeria. Sorry. And if I click on it and I click on control data, so this is the control data, this is the control that we have set up in the system. And what we have done, I've explained this before, I will explain again. When you click on steps to be 100, second step, what this thing means is first step, second step, third step. That's what this 100, 110 means. Now, the condition type is what? BASB. What this BASB means is base amount. because your tax is calculated on your base amount. If you go to HMedics or you go to Sahara store or you go to any other store, when you buy your item, if you are buying what do you call it? If you are buying bread and the bread is cost for 1,000 naira, for example, I'm just citing example. If the bread is cost 1,000 naira, the VAT portion of 1,000 naira should be 7.5 of that 1,000 naira, right? But the 7.5 will be calculated based on the unit price. It will calculate on the unit price. So the PASB is what is the base amount, right? Now, MWAS is an output tax. The condition type for output tax is MWAS. And the condition type for input tax, output tax is the tax on sales. Tax on sales, the VAT on sales. That's what output tax means. The VAT on sales. Why input tax? Input tax is the VAT on what? On supplies or purchases or vendor. That's what this input tax means. So now we are saying, how do you want these calculations to be done? So we want this thing. You know, I said your input tax or your output tax is a function of the base amount. It's calculated based on the base amount. And that's what we have indicated here. We are saying calculate from which step? We say from 100. That's what this thing means. From what? From 100, from base amount. That's what this thing means. Now, the next thing we talk about is the account type. Under account key, rather, account key. MWS is what? Output account key. While VST is what? Input VAT account key. And that's what we have done here. So we just click on save. There's nothing we are doing per se here. We just click on save. We click on save. Then we'll go back. Now we have created that created calculation procedure, how we want our tax to be what to be done in the system. So I'll go back. Then I will assign it to what to country. I will assign the calculation procedure to my country because it is on client level. It's not company code specific. So I'll click on my country, which is NG, and then I will assign it. And as you can see, it has been assigned. I'll just click on Ctrl S to save. Then I'll go back. Now, okay, so I'll leave this part for now. I'll just leave this change setting for tax processing. So this one, this check and change setting for tax processing is what is on the account type, right? Is on the what is on the account type. So if I click on this place now, this procedure on the processes, and I put VST. You know, I said VST is what? Input VAT. If I click enter, this is, you can see input VAT. If I click enter, double click it, it will bring me to this place. And now what does these things do? You get to know it, but I'll just say one or two comments here. We are saying the VST description is input tax, and the tax type is what? Is 2, which is input tax. Now, this post indicator is saying 2, meaning that you want to separate, you want, at the point when you are doing your tax, or at the point when you are creating your tax, you want it to separate the input tax on another line item. That's what this thing means. When you say separate line item, when you choose 2, you say separate line item. But if you click on 3, distribute to relevant expense revenue item, what you're saying is that instead of creating another line item, you want it to be distributed among the line item already selected. That's what this thing means. So I'll just do nothing here, and I'll just continue. We'll still come back there when we get to some certain setup. We'll come back to this. Sorry, let's close this thing totally. So that's on tax. Let me continue on tax. Financial account global setting, the tax on sales and purchase. Now we are done with our basic settings, right? The next one is calculation. We'll come to calculation and we now define the tax code for sales and purchases. Now, where do you see your tax code on sales and purchases? Let me open that screen and show you one. I just hope I'll be able to show you. Okay. I'll say FB60. FB60. Okay. What's this? So I'll show you. This is where you normally see your input tax. You can see input tax. You can see it's grayed out now. Input tax. You can see it's grayed out. Now I'll go into the system and create some tax, the input tax and output tax. So define tax code for sales and purchases. So you come to this place. You click on what you do first is to put your country, which is NG. If you put your country, which is NG, then you put your tax code. Now I'll use V1. I'll use V1 for 7.5% VAT. I'll click enter. If I click enter, it will bring me to this place. It will say what description do you want to put. I'll say 7.5% input VAT. Let me say input VAT. Now it's asking me what type of tax is this. It's an input tax. So I'll select input tax, which is this. V is an input tax. I'll select it. And the next thing I'll do is to click on this check mark. I'll click on the check mark. And after clicking on the check mark, everything will come like this. And the next thing I'll do is to come to my input tax, because what I want to do is what is on input tax. I'll come to this. You can remember this condition type we set up in the system. You can see we say base amount, output tax, and input tax. If you remember, this is exactly what we set up. Right? When we say this 110 should be calculated based on 100, you remember that that's just what we have done here, right? Now, what we are doing is for input tax. We say 7.5% input VAT. You come to the input tax and put your 7.5 and click enter your keyboard. All you just need to do here is put your 7.5 like I've just done. Click enter on your keyboard and save it. I'll just save. If I save it, then I'll create output tax too. The output tax will be what? Let's say output. I'll say 07. Let me just say 07. Oh, that's output 07. Then I'll come to here. I'll say 7.5% output VAT. I'll just do that. I'll click on the type, which is output tax. Output tax. Then I'll click the check mark. Then I also put for the output tax, I'll put 7.5 as well, because that's what the Nigerian laws as out of today. 7.5 is the what they call it, the tax for input. I'll click enter, then I'll go back. So I'm okay on that definition of tax code and on sales and purchases. Remember, this thing is not flowing. Then I'll go back again. I'll enter FB60. So this FB60 is for invoicing. And now when I come to this place now, we should be able to see our tax, our input tax and output tax that we just created. Remember, the input tax and output tax we created is at what? Is at client level. Is at client level, not on company specific. Can you see? Can you see that before now we're not seeing it, but now we can see it. So this is how to see this axis. Like I said, it's on client level, it's not company code level. Now that I've created it, anybody who is using this system will see the input tax and the output tax. Then I'll come to this place. Now I've been able to create, define tax code and all that. Assign company code to document date for tax determination. Specify base amount. All these things are things we do not really need, right? I'll just close it. Then under posting, what this posting means is that after you have defined your what they call it, the tax code, you need to also define an account whereby whenever that's where we come to look at what you say, assign country region and tax code to GL account. Now, the one, see, under posting, you say assign country, region, and tax code to GL account. Define account. So, and this assign tax code for non-taxable transaction. You see these two, they are very important. Assign country, region to tax code to GL account. What this thing means is that for every input VAT, he wants you to assign a GL account to it, because you are not supposed to be posting to a tax account manually. It should be an automatic generation. What it should be is what? An automatic generation. So this is where you map your tax GL. However, you know we have not created any GL in the system, and that's why we cannot assign anyone now. Now, for assign tax code for non-taxable transaction, this one is important because if you don't, what this thing means is that for non-taxable transaction, any transaction that does not require access, you should what? You should assign a tax code to it. However, we've not created any tax code for tax code 0, but we'll just assume we have created it, which is IQ01. We'll go to IQ01, and then I'll just put I0 and O0. What it means is that input tax, 0 input tax, and 0 output tax. I'll click on enter on my keyboard. It will throw me that these things have not been, this code have not been created. But I'll say yes, you should continue. You can see tax code I not defined. I'll say you should continue. I'll say you should continue. Then I'll save it. I'll click on save. Then I'll be able to save the entry. So I'm sure it has come back again. So I'll just go back. Then I think on tax parts, I think we're fine. At this level, we're fine here. Now, the other one we need to look at is withholding tax. So I want us to start this one tomorrow, which is withholding tax. So I want us to start this one tomorrow. Probably maybe I'll also extensively explain all the tax thing. But I'm sure you understand what taxes means. That's mean if you go to H Medics and you are buying some certain material, after the unit price of the material you're buying, you also pay 7.5% of VAT to it, and you pay to the government, you pay to H Medics. H Medics will file that taxes and remain to the federal government, and that's on input VAT. Taxes are complicated matter, but I wouldn't want to delve details into some of the things, but I'll just say in summary what it actually means. Now, withholding tax is okay, maybe tomorrow I'll explain details or I should just explain it now. Withholding tax are special tax, right? They are special tax. You can call it tax or at source. You can call it tax at source. I remember Mr. Innocent explained this part when we were treating financial accounting basic. So withholding tax is a special tax, is a tax that is withdrawn at source or that is withheld at source. You can also call it a deferred tax. You can call it a what? I don't want to misuse the word here, but just call it a special tax. And this, what do we use withholding tax for? So government have chosen some agency like oil and gas company, like telecommunication industry, to withhold to withhold 5% or 2% on every transaction that they provide or they do, right? So that withholding tax will be used. So now, if I'm a vendor and you have deducted, if I'm sewing clothes now, and let's say NPC have called me to come and sew laundry clothes or cleaners clothes for their cleaners. And I've sewn about 1,000 cleaners clothes. And now they are not charging me 7.5 on that because they are supposed to withhold the VAT. So when you are creating your invoice, you indicate you include 7.5% VAT, right? And you submit your invoice. Now, because they are oil and gas company, they will not give you that 7.5. Normally, you expect they should give you the amount inclusive of VAT, right? They will not give you the VAT portion because they are statutory by government law or ordinance to do what? To withhold the VAT and pay on your behalf. That's one. Two is the withholding tax. The withholding tax, they will take 2% on every transaction you have with them. That 2% over time will accumulate. You go to FRS and you claim it. Now, what do we mean claiming? you you are supposed to file corporate income tax. You're supposed to file corporate income tax. So this corporate income tax you're supposed to file, you will use whatever has been deducted over time by different agency of government as withholding tax. You use the withholding tax to net off the liability that you ought to pay to the federal government. That's what you use. So you use the withholding tax that the government has taken from you and tell them that okay, I'm owing you so amount of money as per my corporate income tax, and this is what you're also owing me. So use what you are owing me to net off what I'm supposed to pay you. If there is a balance sheet, they will pay you, and if there's a shortfall, you have to add balance on your payments. That's just what withholding tax does in summary, the explanation. So what we just do next tomorrow, what we do tomorrow is the setup of the withholding tax, and the setup is done under the extended withholding tax. And if you come to extended withholding tax, you come to basic setting. Under the basic test settings, then you have to begin to define the withholding tax keys and then the recipients, and then come back to calculation where you want to withholding tax type, withholding tax code, and all that and all that. Tomorrow we'll do this about withholding tax. And after configuring the withholding tax, we'll quickly go to, let me see what next. After tax on sales purchases and then withholding tax, I think we'll be fine. We have been done with everything under financial accounting global setting. And then we can take on general ledger accounting tomorrow. And hopefully we get to the accounts payable side. Let's see how it goes tomorrow. By God grace, we'll meet tomorrow. Thank you for your time. Thank you for listening attentively. But if you have any question, you can always ask before we end the call. If you have any question, you can always ask before we end the call. So the floor is yours.